So Ederson has been linked to Manchester United over the past 3 days. I intentionally decided not to do a video until I see that important journalists has begun to report this news and probably the deal is getting to its confirmation. I could see that a deal for Ederson might be struck anytime soon from now. And remember, we have done a video on Ederson talking about his strengths and weaknesses and how he's going to fit into Michael Carrick's team. But today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be talking about how Ederson is going to fit tactically to Manchester United and what are the positions he's going to play in Manchester United. Is he going to be a replacement of Casemiro or is he going to be a backup option for Kobbie Mainoo? So guys, let's dive into this video together. But before we get into this video, if you have not liked and subscribed to Tactical Trafford, I want you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Tactical Trafford, as we'll be making more videos on more players at Manchester United and how they are going to fit into the system of Manchester United. So guys, let's dive into this video together. So like I said, you already know we have spoken about the characteristics, the strengths and weaknesses of Ederson in our previous video. But today we want to be talking about his tactical variability, tactical adaptation to the system of Michael Carrick. And you know that one of the characteristics we spoke about Ederson in the last video is that he's a very good man-to-man pressing player. Of course, he played under Gianni Gasparini in the Serie A, so he's a man that likes to press man-to-man, and that really improved the athleticism, the mobility of Ederson. One of his most critical characteristics is his ability to press man-to-man, to try to jump on the ball. He's a ball hunter, he's a box-to-box midfielder that is very mobile. He likes to win a lot of balls and turn them into a counter-attack. And so of course, you know that Carrick has been confirmed as the manager of Manchester United. So Manchester United is going to be playing in a 4-4-2 formation shape out of possession. I don't know if Michael Carrick is going to continue with this system, but I'm talking based on how Michael Carrick has played this season. He has played in a 4-4-2 shape out of possession, and that is basically because we don't have the desired kind of midfielders that we have. But how does Ederson fit into this 4-4-2 shape out of possession? So of course, you know that Bruno Fernandes and Sesko is going to form a front two, and then one of the midfielders is going to stay up top, while one of the midfielders are going to stay back. And then we're going to have our wingers stuck a little bit deep. And then Ederson is going to be that player that is going to occupy that hybrid role. And because he has this ability to press, he has this ability to win the ball back quickly, he's definitely going to fit that hybrid role. So in a situation where Matheus Cunha presses to the left-hand side and try to squeeze the position when Bruno and Sesko has already pressed, Ederson is going to be that player to try to press on the other man and try to squeeze the position and win the ball back. And also, if there's a situation where Bryan Mbeumo also presses to the right-hand side and try to win the ball right-hand side, Ederson is also that player that can be able to run to the right-hand side and try to jump on the next man to ensure that the ball doesn't beat the press of Manchester United. But the slight concern of Ederson in this role is that this is the role that Mainoo really thrives. This is the role that Kobbie Mainoo likes to play in Manchester United. So it is going to be a disaster to have a player like Ederson and Mainoo in the midfield because they like to do the same thing on the pitch. So in terms of how our midfield is going to be open, it's definitely going to be really open because we are not going to have a lot of athleticism probably when the pressing doesn't work, because of course in the Premier League your pressing doesn't need to work. Your pressing is definitely not going to work probably 70 or 60% out of 100%. So definitely majority of the time Premier League has a lot of quality players, so your pressing will be beaten. So if your pressing is beaten, what next happen? So of course, having a player like Ederson will not let us to press in a 4-4-2 diamond shape, but rather it's going to allow us to press in a flat format shape. So Ederson and Mainoo is only going to work in the midfield when we are pressing in a flat format shape in the midfield, and that in that fashion, of course, Ederson is going to be a good fit for Manchester United. So just like I've said, in terms of pressing, I have no issue with Ederson, but I have slight concerns about Ederson, especially in the flat man shape in the midfield. So when we are defending with a 4-man shape in the midfield, of course, you know that majority of the time this season, Manchester United under Michael Carrick have let the opposition have more of the possession. I'm speaking mainly of what has happened this season. Probably next season there might be a lot of changes because of new players are going to be coming in, particularly in the midfield position. But I'm talking based on what have happened this season. Majority of the time the opposition have lots of the ball, they control most of the ball. So Manchester United are left to defend lots of wide spaces. We need a lot of athletic players to defend pocket spaces, run back with intensity to win the ball back. So this is what Ederson is going to be doing in a flat midfield shape. When in a flat midfield shape when it's paired with Casemiro. So in terms of pressing, jumping really combatively, winning the ball back, setting the counter attack, playing those final balls, Ederson is going to be really perfect for Manchester United if that's only what he does. But in terms of running back, defending those wide spaces, pocket spaces, trying to be that kind of Casemiro, he's not a perfect player for Manchester United. So, and one thing I also want to talk about is that is Ederson really the replacement of Casemiro, or he's a backup to Kobe Mino? Because for me, getting a player like Ederson and then getting two others, which we know that we are definitely getting three midfielders this season, I will not really have a problem with it, especially if he's not a starter and he's like a squad option, because of course you are going to be competing actively in 4 competitions. I won't have a problem. But getting a player like Ederson and one other player and that's it, I will definitely not agree for Manchester United to take such step. So if Ederson wants to be a backup to Kobe Mino, of course I'm really happy for him to be a backup to Kobe Mino, because I know that he's the only player right now in the market that can come to Manchester United and be a backup CM. I don't think he's somebody that can come to Manchester United now and be a starter for us. Playing as Mino's replacement, of course, or as a backup to Mino, of course I will agree. But being that player that is going to replace Casemiro, that is going to replace his leadership, his mentality, his passing ability, his heading ability, his good contributions, and everything Casemiro has done for Manchester United, Ederson is not the player to replace Casemiro. But playing as a backup to Kobe Mino, of course, I wouldn't dispute that. So I want you guys to give me your thoughts on the comment section on if you feel Ederson is the right player for Manchester United to buy. I want you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Tactical Trafford. See you guys in my next video. Ciao.